Yeah, get the tremors out. All right. Welcome, everybody, to Late to the Party, where we watch movies that are at least, 10 years or older. God, I don't even remember what we're doing anymore. And we have fun talking about it. Hopefully having fun talking about it and entertaining you all. All right. This week's movie is the 1990 monster movie that breaks new ground, Tremors. I did that for you, Isaac. All right, so it has an IMDb rating score of 7.1 out of 10. It has a Rotten Tomatoes score of 86% and Google reviews of 91%. And unfortunately, I dug deep, but I did not find a Walmart score, which surprises me, considering the movie. Anyway, so it was directed by Ron Underwood. And it had a budget of $10 million, and unfortunately, it only made $16 million at the box office. Not bad for 1990, though. But it's gone on to do all kinds of gangbuster monies on the aftermarket. All right, it starred Kevin Bacon as Valentine, Fred Ward as Earl, Finn Carter as Rhonda, which goes on. She went on to be Andrea for The Walking Dead fame. We got Ariana Richards, who plays Mindy, who went on 3 years later to be in Jurassic Park, the little sister in big sister in Jurassic
Lexi.
Park. Lex. Reba McEntire as Heather Gummel. God, I love that name. Michael Gross as Bert Gummel. And Victor Wong as Walter Chang, who was my favorite. And it's a bunch of ragtag group of nobodies actually in the middle of a town called Perfection, Nevada. And some weird monsters start attacking, and they got to figure it out and get the hell out of Dodge. And hilarity ensues. So, who all hadn't seen it before now? Like their first viewing. I can't tell if it's Jose too because he's not on my screen. But Isaac,
yeah, both of them.
What did you think of this movie? Just give me your thoughts.
So when I first saw it, I was like, was this a made-for-TV movie? But it wasn't. The acting was very, very over dramatic. Kevin Bacon, I remember, was the big star that they were promoting for this movie because he was the only real big star in it. And I saw Reba McEntire in there, and I was like, I don't remember her ever being promoted for this movie. But it was fun. It was a fun movie. I liked them. The two friends, workers trying to get out of town, and they just kept getting stuck and roped back in, and it was pretty funny seeing that. And then the monsters attacking and the tentacles coming out of the mouths. It was cool. It was fun. I can see why it's a cult classic. It's got all the cult classic feels. So yeah. We're giving buckets already? I'm just joking.
Dude, anyway, well, I mean, it also had the cult classic feel and the fact that, well, it spawned only like 5 sequels, a prequel, and a TV show on top of it. So, there's that.
Show.
And Michael Gross was in all of them, including the prequel.
And the TV show?
And the TV show. He makes an appearance in the TV show as well.
That's cool.
So
yeah, it's hard times for Michael Gross.
Hey, if you can show up in each one of your franchise's movies and get a paycheck from it, why not?
He's like the big name on it because whenever a new movie comes out, he puts it on his little Twitter feed and he's like, all right, Tremors fans, here we go. Here's another one. And he gets all excited.
Yeah, he's chiming out to his real fans and the people that made him a star. So why not? Fuck it.
Right. Lego, what are your thoughts on this movie?
It kind of hits me with like a little bit of nostalgia. It's been a long time since I've seen this, and it's exactly what I like from these old like crazy movies that just have like a really like wacky zany premise, and it's like it kind of feels like Sharknado or something like that, but like with worms. And I mean, these worms are not even they're big, but like they're not like sandworm big, like they're not huge. And I just think I don't know, it's a funny movie, and it was a real pleasure to watch it again.
Yeah, when I see this movie, I'm like, this is the place that Lego's gonna want to move to. The middle of nowhere, where you can just do whatever, have your art, just tune out and unplug.
It's definitely my sort of town. That's a perfection or paradise or whatever they call it.
No.
That sounds about right.
Well, the funny thing is that in the prequel, the town was actually originally called Rejection, Nevada, because all of the reject people ended up there. And so over the years, they changed it from rejection to perfection as things dwindled down.
That's retcon stuff, though. You don't have to pay attention to that.
God, you do. All right, Nate, what do you got? What do you think? You still like it?
Oh yeah, it's a fun one. I don't think a year goes by that I don't watch one of these movies. And this is one of those ones where, like, if you're flipping through trying to figure out something to watch and it's on, I'll just jump into it and let it fill the background of whatever I'm doing. So I'm never too far off in this movie. I think I've actually seen this movie within the last 6 months as well, because Liz is always talking about it. So it popped up and I was like, hey, I want to watch Tremors. They're not even in Alaska this time, or Africa. Like, the worms don't fly.
No, the ass blasters do. They
Yeah, the ass blasters do. Then they have those bipedal ones.
Those are the ones that fly. Yeah.
The bipedal ones with the.
Those are called the shriekers. Where
Yeah.
they're little
So there's flying ones in the sequels.
Yeah. So the worms are just a starting point,
Okay.
and then they gestate and they can turn into what's called shriekers.
They go through a
And
mess.
they're these little. It's like their head and like a body, and they're on these little legs, and they're
They look like Mausers from the Ninja Turtles.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they're heat sensors. So their little flaps go up like this, and then they can sense the heat, and then they go after it. And then in the third movie, they can fly. You hear this like a engine, like a jet engine starting up, and it goes, and then they take off.
They fart, and when they fart,
and
their
they
gas
fly. They have these little
explodes, and it
things
makes
that
them
go out,
fly.
and then they fly around, but they still have the heat-seeking ability as the shriekers do. Now, and then I saw the prequel, and the prequel is just the graboids still. But I haven't seen the last two movies.
Wow,
The last, which
your
was
film
released in
has,
October of last year, so I'm a little bit behind.
you got
Are these all Starship Trooper like prequels?
No.
No, there's one prequel, and then the rest of them are sequels. But yeah, they were direct to DVD at the time.
They have
and
no
now-
affiliation with Starship Troopers, Lego.
Not at all.
No, because the bugs,
Yeah.
and they're like, modernish day.
Where this came about is the writer, director. He worked for the Marines at the time, and he happened to be in the middle of nowhere, desert California, sitting on a rock, and he was like, I wonder if I could survive if something else was around in the ground, if I could survive sitting on this rock, and it inspired him to write this movie.
That's pretty
Interesting.
cool. How much LSD he was on when he wrote that?
Yeah, who knows? I'm guessing heat stroke, because he was in the middle of nowhere, probably wearing all of his fatigues. Jose, what do you think? What are your thoughts on this movie?
I've actually loved this movie from the first time that I saw it. I'm one of those. I don't know. I think, just watching it with my pops for the first time. Remember being a kid. And then when you guys said it, I went as far as to get a Stars free trial by creating another email and a fake credit card just so I could watch this movie again. So the amount of effort I put into this to watch this movie again goes to show you how much I really like it. I did everything short of paying $2.99 to watch it.
I have a fellow lover of this movie.
But I love it's like you were saying that story. I knew that story already about the writer being out in the desert and contemplating what would happen. The originality of that, like I don't know. I've always thought it was clever, and I liked the sequels up until the third one.
Yeah.
But more specifically, what I like about this movie is that I don't think at any time there's any kind of intervention of any sort that, oh, they magically survive. They literally have to figure out one plan, and if that plan doesn't work, they go through plans A through Z, literally just trying to figure out how they're going to survive. And I always admired their perseverance. Like, they just kept, it didn't matter. Like, they got stressed when they were on the rocks, but then they figured that you could pole vault from one to the other. It's just like they were being clever, and they were surviving. And the fact that Bert and his wife were survivalists, or what were they, hunters? What was their official reputation?
No, they were survivalists. They moved they moved out in the middle of nowhere because of geographic isolation.
Preppers.
Yeah, man.
Preppers.
And I swear to God, man, that scene of the one coming through the wall, and they just unloaded with every single weapon, every arsenal that they had, to this day is one of my favorite movie scenes, man. Of all, just dun 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 dun, the elephant gun, everything. Like, I love that scene. So if we're gonna talk about favorite scenes, I'm gonna jump right into it and say that is my favorite scene of almost all time. Just it was well shot. It was well done. Yeah, it was exciting. Like I said, I've loved it since I was a kid. So,
Honey,
This is
you better say good things.
this is one of my favorite movies. I'm with Jose. There's nothing in this movie that you would consider extra or unnecessary. There's no scenes like where you're like, well, where did that come from, or did they cut something out that would have made more sense of it? The film is really tightly done, and I don't think that there's anything about the film that's objectionable in any way. It's a pretty solid thing. My only caveat about it is that this is a film that they really shouldn't have done sequels or prequels for. They should have left it alone. Because everything that came after this film, whether a prequel or a sequel, is nowhere near as good. So
I love everything about this movie. We're gonna go right into like favorite or worst scenes or whatever. But my favorite scene is the time where Val is pissing off the side of the cliff to when he's kissing the girl at the end of the movie. That's my favorite scene right there. So sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Isaac, favorite worst scene?
My favorite scene was the gun scene, but Jose already took it.
It's probably everybody's favorite
My
scene.
next favorite scene is seeing the one of the tremors come out when Kevin Bacon finally figures out to just make it jump off a cliff, and then it just
Just came to me. Stampede.
Stampede! Can you fly? Yeah, that was Lego, favorite or worst scene? Or both? Are you in the same boat as me?
No, I'm kind of right there with you. The whole movie is like pretty solid all the way through. There's no one scene that was like, oh man, they could have cut this, or this was bad, or anything really. I mean, it was fun all the way through, and it kept like a pretty like rapid action type pace for a movie where they're pretty much just trying not to get eaten. So it was fun all the way through.
Nate?
Let's see. I think my favorite scene is when Lopan's nemesis gets eaten by the graboid. I was waiting for him to be like, you guys will see one day. You know what? That's gonna get on here. That's gonna replace this one.
It's multitasking. Love it. That's why he's our fearless leader.
Gotta have content, man.
Nice.
Okay.
Jose, favorite?
Yeah.
you already said
Oh, the gun scene?
yes.
The Bang
Everybody loves the gun scene.
Yeah. Well, if I can throw another one in there, I just found it hilarious how Bert refuses to give the kid a gun, and the kid keeps asking for one. And then when he finally does, and they're running through the desert, he's like, "Bert, you gave me an empty gun."
No, he's shooting it, and it doesn't shoot. He's
He
like,
doesn't have any
"What
gun,
the
it doesn't have
hell?
any bullets.
Bert, you asshole, this gun's not loaded." He gets all pissed.
It got you running, didn't it?
Oh man,
I,
movie's
I,
great.
I was hoping that kid got eaten by one of those tremors.
He does in number 3.
He keeps going.
So, well, he's not in number 2, but in number 3, the original actors that play the mom, the daughter, and the kid, Melvin, they come back for the 3rd movie. And in that one, he's like a land developer that's trying to rid the area of graboids so that he can sell the land. And Bert gets wind of it and gets pissed because Bert still lives out there. And he leaves them out there for the graboids to eat. Bert became like a little ruthless there and then that's how that movie goes. That's like the only time that like Bert goes dark. Usually he's the goofy, survivalist.
Even that Mexican cat dies in one of the sequels.
What?
I was like, the one of that Mexican cat. He reminds me of one of my managers at work named Chewy.
Oh yeah, Miguel. He actually
Miguel.
shows up in number 3 as well. I forgot about that. It was all 4 of those ones come back.
Yeah, he gets eaten.
He bites it in the 3rd one.
Oh, that was so sad.
In 2, nobody shows up but Bert.
No, Bert shows up and Fred Ward comes back for the sequel.
Earl.
The two of them come back. Earl goes down to Mexico to get he's hired by an oil company that the graboids are having problems. They're giving him trouble, so they get Earl to come down there and help fight him. And then he realizes that they turn into something different, so he doesn't know how to handle it. So he calls Bert, and then Bert comes down, and the 2 of them go on a spree, a graboid shrieker. That's when the shriekers come out. The shriekers.
You know what though? The second one, I absolutely love the method that they developed for getting them with the little remote control cars.
Yeah.
With the little chains.
Yeah, the second one wasn't horrible.
It wasn't. I like the second one.
It's good. Then it gets a little bad, but like, yeah.
Then
we need to do a wheel with all of the sequels.
When I was looking up stuff, I was like, dude, they have the complete Tremors collection. Like you can buy, it's like a special, it's got everything, all the movies.
They pay you to take it.
And it's got the TV show. And I was like, I almost pulled the trigger, but Josh was looking over my shoulder and I didn't want to deal with that then.
Why are you going to buy that garbage?
That's exactly what he says. See, look, Isaac can do your impression too. All right, honey, what's your favorite scene?
It's hard to pick a favorite scene because the whole movie is pretty tight, and it's hard not to default to the gun scene in Bert and Heather's basement, because it's just amazing to see them just pulling firearm after firearm off the wall to hose this thing down. But I think any scene that Michael Gross is in, playing Bert, he's got so many great lines. And the one that always sticks out to me is the one that's near the end when they're luring the graboids with those homemade bombs, and then he's getting the fuse out, and Earl asks him, what's where'd you get that? What kind of fuse that is? It's cannon fuse. Like, well, what's it for? For my cannon. You're like, dude, this guy's got everything. So yeah, I mean, again, it's a great movie front to back. Hard to pick an individual scene because I just think every scene is done so well and fits into the whole. But yeah, I think Michael Gross does an excellent job playing this survivalist before doomsday prepping was a thing.
There are cut scenes from this movie that they took out. So because we have a DVD and it has the edited scenes. But most of it happens at the beginning with the 2 old guys, that the one guy that Edgar that dies on the pole, and then the little farmer guy, Fred. They have a discussion about Edgar getting scared, seeing something or whatever, and he ends up running up the pole, and it has a little bit of a backstory where you find out about that. But other than that, there is, even though I love this movie, there is one slight little flaw, and it is in that gun scene where you see Bert standing and the camera's behind him and he's shooting at the graboid, and it's the mesh of the 2.
He's superimposed on the
he's
scene.
over it, and editing or the technology, I guess, wasn't as smooth and as flawless as it could be.
Once you see it, you can't go back. And I don't even think it's Michael Gross. I think they got a stand-in, so you just see him from the back like shooting, and it doesn't look quite right. But it's only like 2 seconds. It's not really.
So yeah, you have to be a little bit of a Debbie Downer on the perfection that is this movie.
The imperfection in perfection.
That's right. All right, so let's do the buckets. And any final thoughts? Isaac.
A fun movie. I will watch it again, and I am planning on watching the sequels. So it's not a perfect movie. Like I said, I have to probably watch it again. I'm gonna give it a 9.
All right, Lego.
This is a fun movie. This is perfect. Everything I want. Love it.
Right. Nate. Lay on some buckets.
9 buckets.
9 buckets. All right.
You know, it was fun from a fun area, or from a fun era when they were allowed to come up with movies that had original premises. Remember that, guys? That was crazy. Used to be, check it out, Isaac, Lego, Jose. Used to be, when we were your age, they had new movies with new premises.
I used to go to the video store and rent movies too that were all original content. It wasn't all remakes. Until I was a man, they were starting to make remakes.
I just watched an animated short about an owl that's also like half woman with like boobs, and she's like tries to have an affair with the postal worker who's a dog, and it doesn't go so well, and she's sad. And by the way, she sells her panties online to Americans, and she's British. So tell me again how there's no original ideas being produced.
That one was obviously influenced by the Human Centipede.
So obvious. It's so obvious.
I mean, if you need me to break it down for you, bro.
Wait, that's the content for the next show. Jose, lay some buckets on me.
Man, I've loved this movie since I was a kid. Anytime somebody wants to talk shit on it, I smack them. It's one of those, it's like Nate said, man, this was original. This was back when they let him do original stuff, and it was balls to the wall, and it's a damn shame that it doesn't get referenced as much. It's one of those, I know we reserve the 10s for epic movies that have had an influence on culture and yada, 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 but I think this is one of those that you can't not give it a 10 because it's so good. And I mean, it spun off all those sequels for a reason. And even though they were straight, they know their market. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, they know their market. They know it's a very niche market. But as this movie stands just by itself, I love it. I think it's great. I recommend it. Like I said, any chance that I get to watch it, I will watch it. Yeah, man. And I'm just disappointed there's no Gravoid Funkos or Gravoid action figures. I've never seen one. Even I remember in the sequel they showed a arcade game, and I was actually Googling at one point if that game actually existed, which it wasn't. It was just a prop for the movie.
Oh, bummer.
So, yeah. So, but 10 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, look, the movie is perfect. I just don't think it's epic. And the sequels and the prequel are precisely why it's not epic. So it's a 9. It's a strong 9.
You're sleeping on the couch tonight.
Yeah.
Over a 9? What if you actually hated it?
He's sleeping in the car.
He's sleeping on the ground.
In the box.
He's sleeping on the Gravoid.
He's sleeping with the Gravoid.
All right. Well, for me, obviously, it's a 10, and I'm trying to figure out why it's a 10 for me, and I have a feeling that a lot of it mean, the story is great. The acting is awesome. The whole as a movie, it's perfect. It's got everything in there. But I think it also has a little bit of a nostalgia because I think this is one of those movies that I sat down with my dad and watched it with him. We were big fans of sitting down and watching like we call it sci-fi, like sci-fi channel movies, and this is what would qualify. And
That's where all those sequels came from.
Is the one that did the TV shows, the Sci-Fi Channel TV show. But it's just, the more I think about it, and each time we watch it, I catch a few things here and there that's a little bit different that I never caught before, and it's a fun movie all around, and I'm always gonna love this movie.
It's Reba.
It's I was in the country music at the time when this came out, and Reba was.
She got a signed picture of Reba McEntire. It's
That's
Reba.
cool.
I
like Reba. I like the show Reba.
I went to her concert and met her. It was a lot of fun, but that was post Tremors. It was after Tremors. But anyway, this is probably one of my all-time. It ties with my all-time favorite movie. And I will watch this movie and its sequels till the cows come home. So there you have it. There is our reviews of Late to the Party, and the baton is getting passed to Mr. the Great. All right, so signing off from Graboid Central, I'm Liz.
And Josh.
I'm Isaac.
Jason.
Jose.
I'm Nate, and I got some good stuff for you next week.
All right, see you later.
All right. I'll send the links out.
All right.